Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Polly Brothers. I'm an independent consultant and regional vice president with Arbonne. I'm actually coming to you from my hotel room in Chicago today, but that's one of the great things about this business, and it's really what we're going to talk about is duplication. If I hadn't duplicated myself, I wouldn't be able to travel with my husband. We're empty nesters, and so we do like to travel quite a bit. He's at a work thing today. Normally, I can go anywhere, and as long as I have one of these, I think we all know what that is, I'm able to do this business. But today I want to do a quick training for you guys on duplication. So I'm just going to touch on three main things. Number one, why we want to duplicate in this business. Number two, what we duplicate. And then I'm going to show you some of the tools that our team uses to ensure that duplication is happening. So number one is why. Why do we want to duplicate? Now I do have notes, so I'm just going to make sure that I'm staying on track and keeping this quick because we want to be good stewards of your time. Why we duplicate. So there's a couple of sayings in this business. One is, it doesn't matter if it works, it only matters if it duplicates. And I know my sponsor, Andrea Rominger, has put that into my head a million times, and I'm so grateful for that because it's so true. It doesn't matter if you can be amazing and successful at one thing, but if you can't teach that, then it's not going to, you're not going to be able to duplicate yourself or photocopy yourself, which is super important, and it's why we all decided to do this business. I think part of why we decided to, because we're able to leverage our time by doing that. I love what John Rockefeller said. He said, I would rather earn 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own efforts. I think that is a pretty amazing saying. And so like we said, you can only do so much on your own. And so I want to give you a couple of quick examples of this. Number one is McDonald's, and we all know McDonald's. And again, thank you, Andrea, for this example. So on McDonald's billboard or their big sign out front, it usually says like over 1 billion people served daily. Well, they can't serve 1 billion people from that one location on the corner down the street from you, right? They can only do that because they have expanded themselves globally, and they have a system in place where, you know, if you go into a McDonald's, it might look a little different on the outside, but on the inside, it's McDonald's. So they are always going to basically put together the hamburger the same way. The fries are going to be the same. You know, it's not going to be waffle fries at one and, I don't know, shoestring fries at another. It's McDonald's fries. And so that's how they've been able to serve that many people, is because they've duplicated themselves. And it's kind of like Arbonne. We all look different on the outside, but if we can duplicate a few simple things, then we're able to reach so many more people. The other example I have is I'm a Les Mills instructor, fitness instructor. As you can see, I'm kind of in fitness clothes today. I'm going to head out for a run in a little bit. But I teach fitness classes put together by a company called Les Mills out of New Zealand. So Les Mills himself, because Les Mills is a guy, he could have decided, hey, I'm just going to stop at this here in New Zealand, and I'm just going to help all these people in New Zealand get healthier with the knowledge that I have, and I'm done. But he didn't. He knew that there was power in duplicating what he already kind of had going in New Zealand. And so he started basically teaching and training people to do what he does. And he started creating these programs. And so every 3 months from Les Mills, whatever program I'm teaching from them, right now I teach body flow, but I've taught everything in the past. I get music and choreography. And so I learn it and I teach it. That can only happen, or the duplication from Les Mills can only happen because all Les Mills instructors have gone through the same training. And yes, we're all a little different. We all have different personalities. We might have tweaks in how we coach, but what we're teaching is exactly the same. I don't change the choreography. I don't say, hey, I think it should be done this way. I think instead of, you know, a sun salutation here, I'm going to go ahead and just do standing string. No, it's actually a scientifically proven program, and it works because of the things, the system that he has put in place to teach to do these programs. So hopefully that helps you understand why we want to duplicate, why we can reach more people. Okay, and then you can grow a much larger network. So what do we duplicate in Arbonne? The number one thing that we duplicate is our system for success, you guys. And our system for success is simply this. We share the Arbonne story with a minimum of 30 people per month if we want momentum. So it's your business, so you know, hopefully by now, that you can decide how fast or slow you want to go in Arbonne. But why not work smarter? Why not tell the story the way it's supposed to be told? And if you want momentum, if you really want to see growth, just do the numbers. It's just math, you guys. So the story, we do 4 key things in the story. These are the 4 things we do. Number 1, we share our I story, and there's a method for doing that, and that's on our team website. And I'll show you where that is in a minute, okay? But that's just really simple. It's just how I was introduced to Arbonne, what my fears and hesitations were, kind of what changed in my mind, and where I see myself in the future. What do I want from Arbonne? And it should be very relatable, and that's a whole nother training, so don't worry. I'm not going to go into that. But we share our story. We share the product story of Arbonne, because that's what we do, is we teach people about healthier products, and we move product, period, in our network. We share the income story. That is so important, that every single time you're sharing the income story, because you never know who could be blessed by this opportunity. And then we ask people to be a part of our business or of our network. And so we do that by sharing the 3 ways to win, or the 3 ways to be a part of Arbonne, and then there's an ask. So those are the key components of sharing this story, the Arbonne story, with every single person. And of course, it's not going to be perfect. Sometimes it'll come in through the back door. So someone might come in through the 30-day program, and then along the way, you want to make sure that you're reaching out and saying, hey, you know what? I didn't get a chance to share that overview with you of Arbonne. Would it be okay? Could we just set up a quick phone call? So it's very simple. It's very easy to do. And I want to recommend that you listen to a training by Kathy Lutz, and it's on SoundCloud, and it's called The One Thing. So if you go to SoundCloud and you search for Kathy Lutz, L-U-T-Z, K-A-T-H-Y, and you type in The One Thing, this training will come up, and it is excellent. And it is everything we're talking about right here. It's just what we do in Arbonne. What is our system for success? Now, the tools we use to ensure that duplication happens, and this is where sometimes it can get a little, like, we can get a little off track, off course. That's okay. Always okay to just jump right back on. I know it took me forever to really figure out this deal. Still learning and growing, which is the beautiful thing about this. But we have tools on our team that we use to ensure duplication is happening. And most teams in Arbonne, you're going to find that they are basically using these same tools. They might have a little different reach out method, but they're using the same basic tools for success to get in front of those 30 to 40 people a month. So number 1 thing we do in this business, or in our team, is we use a getting started training. There is a recorded version that Andrea has recorded on our team website. So you guys, I always recommend people watch that. And then then by the time we are talking, and sometimes it'll happen the opposite way, and I understand that, but I try to get them to watch that first, and then by the time we talk, I know that they've got a little bit in their head. They may not understand it yet, but a little bit about compensation and that kind of thing. So we have them do that. There's a sponsored checklist. Y'all, this is relatively new on our website, but it is invaluable. I have been using it, and it is right on. And this is the sponsored checklist is put there so that you duplicate yourself. So you want to make sure that not only are you teaching your new people the steps to get started, but they're teaching. And so by having a tool, we're able to ensure that duplication is happening. So you want to make sure that you're walking through this with them, and you're saying to them, this is what I always say. I say, listen, I'm going to share this with you. I'm going to show you what we're going through on the screen. I want you to see and me to see where you are, so that you know that tomorrow, if you have a new person, you can basically, of course, I'm going to be there to help them, but they could basically pull this up and walk that person through the steps. And I don't just give it to them and say, hey, here's your sponsor, here's your checklist, go get started. No, it's a sponsor checklist. It's for me to make sure I am sponsoring them correctly, and I'm walking through those steps with them, and ensuring that they have a good start. And of course, they need to be coachable, and sometimes you're going to do your best and it's still not going to work out. But these are the things that will ensure that you are duplicating. Okay. We launch, that is part of the sponsor checklist. We launch people, there's a reason. It has to do with duplication. We want to make sure that they are learning. They're going to be learning to tell the story themselves, but they're going to hear you do it over and over again. And then along the way, what I do when I'm helping people and getting them started is I'll usually do a couple for them completely myself. They'll share their I story at the beginning. So whether I'm launching virtually or in person, they're going to share their story, and then I'm going to do the one-page presentation, and they're just going to listen. And maybe they want to even take notes, but they're just going to follow along on the sheet, and they're going to listen. And then I start having them do pieces of it as they get more comfortable. So maybe the most comfortable thing for people is usually the product, because they're joining this business because of the product most of the time at the very beginning. So they have a product story, and that part is easy for them to share, and they can basically read it from a sheet, which is great. And so by doing that, I'm teaching and I'm ensuring that I am duplicating telling the story. Because if you are duplicating just telling the product story, then you're only going to duplicate sales most likely, and then you're basically leaving money on the table, and you're only getting one piece of what we do, and you want to duplicate all of it. You will never duplicate yourself because you're just duplicating sales, if that makes sense. Okay, so we launch for that reason, for duplication, to make sure that they're learning. We also launch because, hey, if I'm putting my time in, then I want to make sure that I'm kind of covering that as well. And so I want to get in front of their people. And I'm just being like completely transparent and honest with you guys here, and for you as well in your business, you want to make sure that your time is valuable. So you want to make sure that you're able to leverage your time and get in front of their top people. So you're also helping them to get a really good start and to get momentum going. We also duplicate by tracking our activity. I cannot tell you how important this is. I didn't do this in all of my business, but now I do. And so how am I going to know if I'm getting in front of 30 people a month minimum if I don't track? There's no way for me to know. So 30 new people that I'm telling the story to every month. And don't let that scare you, you guys. That's so easy to do. It's just maybe if you're doing group presentations, that would be 6 things, 1 thing a week and 1 every other weekend, if that's how you want to do it, with 5 people at each. Or maybe you just do 1 thing a week that's a group, and that could even be virtually, online by the way, and then you just fill in with one-on-one conversations, whether in person or on the phone. If you're sending videos, I just want to do a little side note here. Videos are great. I use them a lot for exposures, but I don't let the video take the place of me getting belly to belly with that person somewhere in the process. And so what I mean by that is, let's imagine I send a video to someone about the 30-day, and they hop on the 30-day, and that's great, and they're doing amazing, and they love it. And so they're a preferred client, they love the product, they're having good results. Somewhere in that process, I'm gonna reach out and say, hey, would it be okay? I mean, I haven't really shared the overview of Arbonne with you. Would it be okay if I do that? Why do I do that? I do that for, several reasons. One is I want to make sure to get in front of them with the entire story, and they haven't heard the income opportunity story yet, and I haven't maybe even shared my story yet. So I'm going to give them that complete story of Arbonne. But 2, I have an opportunity now to invite them to join my business. And so I have an opportunity to say, gosh, you're having amazing results. I would love, to help you maybe build a side income if that is something that you're at all interested in. Or, gosh, you're so incredible. I love your energy. I would love for you to be on my team. Like, would you consider doing this with me? That's a really nice way to ask somebody, you guys. But you have to ask. You have to invite people to join your team. The number one reason people don't do this is because nobody asks them. So ask, get your asking gear. Lastly, we duplicate our reach out methods. And I know there's so many things I'm probably even missing because duplication encompasses so much. But our reach out methods, meaning group presentations, one-on-ones, video, well, all those things. And that's where it's a little fluid. Like, you're going to be able to kind of intersperse, and maybe you're somebody that doesn't do any group presentations, but you're still able to get in front of enough people because you're doing enough reach outs and you're doing enough follow-ups, and then you're doing enough of that belly to belly, hey, can I share the story with you? So there's a lot of different ways to reach out in Arbonne. I do a combination. I drop the RE9 sets. I do get samples out to people. I can't tell you, I do everything. Why? Because I feel like I have all these tools. I don't want to leave any of them out, and that's how I'm able to get in front of a lot of people. So I'm going to share my screen real quick and show you where some of these things are, just so you know, on our website, just so we're duplicating. And then that is it for today. So hang on just a second, you guys, and let me share my screen and show you. And it's going to come up first with the sponsored checklist, but we'll back up a second. Let me move this over. Hang on. Okay, let's do this. So if you're brand new on our team, let me go to the homepage. This is our team website. It's called successandsimplicitynations.com. You'll go here and you'll go to team resources and getting started. So I'm just going to go through that and just show you another form. Okay, so it's super simple. The password is already in right now for me, but there is a password. It's ENVP, like Executive National Vice President. But once that comes up, you're going to have these getting started slides that you can arrow through. So I'm just arrowing through them. Here's how to write your iStory. We talked a little bit about that. We're not going to go into that heavy duty. Here's your 100-person list. So your sponsor's going to work with you. Oh, wait, it says, please move something. A window away from the shared application. I don't know what it means, you guys. Please move this window away from the shared application. Maybe if I do that. Okay, maybe that will work. Screen sharing has stopped. Okay, you guys, we will get there. Let's try this again. Getting started, share. Okay, hopefully I won't get that message again. But just really quickly, here's where we were. And then, so that's your getting started, and there's a getting started training, and I'm going to show you what that is. Okay, so underneath these slides, let me just back it up so it looks like you're going to see it when you first come into this page. There is a getting started training video right here. So I suggest if you're brand new or if you're sponsoring someone brand new, have them watch the getting started training. But here, the sponsor checklist, I'm going to show you this and one other thing, and we're done. So if you click on that, here's what I was talking about. And this is your checklist for sponsoring or for getting someone started in this business. And we're always doing that. We're either getting ourselves started or we're getting somebody else started. So hopefully you're getting a couple of new people a month started, at least one. But by doing this, if you follow our system for success, you will be doing those things. And so I'm not going to go through all of this, but just so you see that this is here and it is a tool and we should all be using it because it's invaluable. And just notice that it says sponsor goes through getting started slides. So we're going through these things with our people. Sponsor a new consultant, select 2 dates for launch. Why do we do 2? Because we want to offer people 2 dates so they know, hey, I could do this date or this date. Which one works better for you? They create their 100-person list, they pick out their dream team, and la, la, la. Okay, but we are doing these things because we are teaching. So again, when I'm helping someone get started, I'm teaching them how to get started, but I'm also teaching them how to start someone else. And that's where duplication happens. So I want that to happen in my business. I want to teach, and I want them to teach, and them to teach, and them to teach, and then that exponential growth starts. And that's when it gets so super exciting, you guys. Okay, so last thing to show you, and this is actually in our Dropbox, and I'm have your sponsor show you how to get there, but just for the interest of time, because I want to finish this up, is this is how we make sure we've got an exposure tracking sheet, and I'm going to do another video on exposures. But this is how we make sure this has enough room here for 32 people, 32 lines, and these would be people in the month that you've told the story to. So you're going to have a master list, and the master list is what you're working off of. It's just you're constantly adding people. As I'm going throughout my day, like I might meet somebody today in a shop, and I love that about Arbonne. And then I'm constantly just adding people to my list. But these, each month, I'll put the month up top. I print it, put it up top. And then every month, I'm writing people down that I have done, that I have shared the story of Arbonne with, and then I'm tracking those exposures. And then these are just we say if you can talk to that many people, if you can share the story with a minimum of 30 people, you're going to find 8 people who will probably do the 30-day or who will probably get the skincare. That's just an easy way to think about this. And then what happens with all of that, once we do that activity, let me stop the share and finish this up, is now we're also duplicating what we call our $2,500 brick. And that's something that I didn't really share up top, but I wanted to get us to this point to share how that happens. And so then if we can do that, so in this business, what we also want to duplicate is when we're teaching people to do the right amount of activity. So Kathy Lutz says, do the right thing, do the right things, do enough of the right things, and do enough of the right things for long enough. So when you do that, what's going to start happening in your business is you are going to consistently be hitting your $2,500 brick at least. And if you can teach people to do that, you will get to the top, and they will get to the top. And that is what it's all about. So I hope that was super helpful about duplication, you guys. I will upload this and share it with everyone. And then the next thing I'm going to talk about, or the next video I'm going to make, is on exposures. So thanks you guys for listening.